What is going on, Bucks fans? Evan Wanish here, back at you with yet another video talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And today, before training camp, I wanted to talk about an article that I had made most recently on BucsNation.com. So you can go ahead and check that out, read the full thing on BucsNation.com. But it's an article that I posted questioning some players that could potentially be on the roster bubble. For this coming training camp that may not make the final 53-man roster. Every year there seems to be a few of these guys that come into camp on the bubble and they got to prove themselves. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I have three players here. Now, I mean, could there be more? Yes. Could these players be safe? Yes. I don't have any inside information right here that these players are definitely on the roster bubble. It's just I took a look at the roster and I thought, with some circumstances on the roster and everything, what could potentially be a spot where the Bucks could make a cut where it's a notable cut. All three of these players are players that are recognizable names, and let's get right into it with running back Keyshawn Vaughn. Now, Keyshawn Vaughn was obviously a third round pick in 2020 and he just simply hasn't panned out. It just simply has not worked out. He's played a little bit of special teams, but hasn't gotten much play at all as far as actual running back goes in the offense. His rookie season, he was behind Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones, and even was behind LaShawn McCoy for a good amount of that season as well. Then in 2021, it was still behind Fournette and Jones, really couldn't get any opportunities because a lot, them guys were taking all the opportunities, and rightfully so. Like, I mean, those guys had earned those opportunities to play, and they played well. And then in 2022, the team re-signs Leonard Fournette, and they draft Rashad White in the third round. Now, if you're a Keyshawn Vaughn fan, you got to be not loving that because Keyshawn Vaughn was maybe looked at with Ronald Jones departing, maybe he would get a shot. Well, they drafted Rashad White. Leonard Fournette sort of fell out of favor about mid-season. Rashad White ended up taking over duties a little bit more as Fournette battled with injuries and everything like that. So Keyshawn Vaughn yet again did not get much of a shot. So now you're looking at it. Fournette's gone, which you think, okay, that's a shot for Keyshawn Vaughn to maybe step in. But they signed Chase Edmonds in free agency. And then they also signed undrafted free agent Sean Tucker out of Syracuse. Now, I know it's an undrafted free agent. They're not, he wasn't drafted for a reason. It was some injury concerns. If he was completely healthy, he's probably a fifth, sixth, maybe seventh round pick. So it's not like this is a superstar that the Buccaneers guy's an undrafted free agent, but it does lead you to question, like, if Sean Tucker's healthy enough and he comes in and plays well, plays better in training camp than Keyshawn Vaughn does, is Keyshawn Vaughn in danger of losing his spot on the roster? And I think he very well could be. I do think that he is a possibility that Keyshawn Vaughn could find himself on the street here on as a free agent towards the end of training camp, because if a guy like Sean Tucker outperforms him, Keyshawn Vaughn may need to make a mark on special teams, which he has done before. But there's guys like Patrick Laird on the roster. They also signed Ronnie Brown, undrafted free agent. So there's some competition there. So I don't think Keyshawn Vaughn's spot on the 53 is locked up at all. Next is outside linebacker Cam Gill. I know this one's not as notable of a name, but Cam Gill's been on the roster for a good bit. The reason I wanted to highlight him here was because the Buccaneers added Yaya Diaby and Jose Ramirez both in the draft, and they also re-signed Anthony Nelson. So as you're looking at it, you basically have four locks, right? You got Shaq Barrett, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, Anthony Nelson, and Yaya Diaby. Those four are going to make the team. Do the Buccaneers carry five or do they carry six outside linebackers? I could see them carrying six, in which case, like, that may benefit Cam Gill. But if they carry five, Jose Ramirez, who the Buccaneers have just invested a draft pick into, may have the upper hand. He may have the upper hand, and that could force Cam Gill out of Tampa Bay, just because I think the Buccaneers want to get a little bit younger. I know Cam Gill is younger, but I think with this drafting of Jose Ramirez and Yaya Diaby, they clearly want to go in a different direction there. I could see Cam Gill, if he doesn't live up to some expectations for the preseason and training camp, I could see him being on his way out as well. And last but not least is guard Aaron Stinney. And this is a notable one. And it's a tough one because part of the reason why he's on this list is because you're not entirely sure how he's going to bounce back after a pretty brutal injury. Tore his ACL and MCL last year in the preseason, missed the entire 2022 season. And then the Buccaneers kind of had a revolving door, I guess you could say, at the guard spots this past season. But Stinney now is hopefully healthy. He's re-signed with Tampa Bay on a 1-year deal. Hopefully, he's healthy enough to be able to compete for a spot because Ryan Jensen's back. They drafted Cody Mock in the second round. They project him to play guard. So that really leaves just and it sounds like Cody Mock is likely to be probably a good chance to start. So you got one guard spot with guys like Robert Hainsey, Nick Leverett, and Matt Filer. And then you got Aaron Stinney. I don't think the Buccaneers are going to be keeping all those guys. And with Stinney's injury, I don't know how well he's going to be able to bounce back from that. So that's why he's on this list. He's a solid player. Aaron Stinney is a solid player. It's just sort of a numbers game and an unfortunate thing that he got hurt when he did. He missed the entire season, and it's a major injury, and you're just not sure how that player is going to bounce back from that. So the depth is important, though. So if Stinney proves himself, hey, great. Somebody else, is going to have to fight for a job. But all three of these guys, I think, are going to be fighting for spots here in training camp, and we'll have to wait and see. It's not just going to revolve around the camp practices. Of course, it's going to revolve, I think, a lot around the preseason. I think you put a lot of stock into preseason play with these fringe type guys. When it comes to the starters, not so much. But when you got fringe guys that are on the bubble, like these three potentially could be, I think it's important for them to show out in the preseason. So let me know what you guys think about this list. Like I said, you can go ahead and check out this list over at BucsNation.com. You can check out my other written work over at BucsNation.com as well. Let me know what you guys think about these three particular players. Are they on the roster bubble? Do you think they have a decent shot of making the 53? Do you think they don't? Let me know what you guys think. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and talk soon.